standing in front of a grain bagger.
Yes.
And what I want to talk about is what should we be watching for over the winter with our grain bags?
That's a good question, because we've got more grain in bags in Western Canada than any time in history. And the biggest risk we have is, the animals that surround us. And I would say mice are your biggest risk in storing grain, because they like the grain, and unfortunately we got to poison them, and that eliminates a lot of your birds of prey and your coyotes and that, because if they're digging around your grain bags, they're after the mice. So what I recommend to farmers is take some old air seeder hose, put the best poison you can buy in it, run it down the sides of the bags, eliminate your mice, because those birds with the talons that are going to poke your bags are going to sit on top of the bags, and when they fly away, you'll see claw marks. And if you've got that happening, you've got to tape them up. Another way to prevent it is take some baler mesh, run it down the top of your bags, and the birds don't want to get their talons caught into the mesh, and that'll deter them somewhat too.
So a scarecrow maybe isn't good enough?
There are some of these birds are pretty persistent, right? And there's all kinds of people have bought plastic models of ravens, and it does work.
It works sometimes.
Yeah. In every area north to south has got different animals. In the north they have bears, and bears are really, electric fence really handles them. They don't like it. And there are companies that sell modular fencing that go around real quickly you can use too. You can put round bales around them. Birds, if the bales are higher than the bags, they won't fly down into it. That's a lot of work, but it'll also block out all your deer, elk, or moose.
So how many bales?
Too high. Too high, yeah.
And with the bears, you're talking about electric fence. It doesn't take much.
No.
Just one wire.
Yeah, one wire, and you have it close to the bag so that it'll deter deer as well. But you want to be close so they don't jump over it. And with deer, they're the worst when you have snow around the bags and they can walk on top. So I guess the first thing I should have told you was to put your grain in areas where away from bush, away from fence lines, close to where you live is probably good. You can keep an eye on them and monitor them. But if you can't do that, keep them in the open and in an area where you can get at it to unload, of course, too.
Yeah, and check it for those.
Yeah, snow will drift in on one side, but if you get into a fenced or a wooded area, then you're going to have snow all around. And at the end of your bags, a good idea is to take pallets, because if there's no snow, the deer will want to climb on the ends, but they don't like putting their feet through the pallets. No wooden pallets, so that's a good cheap way of blocking the end of the bag. So, yeah.
What was I going to ask? In terms of weathering, is there anything like draining?
You want to be in a well-drained area, because you want to be able to get in there in the spring. If it thaws, you want it in an area where it dries out quick. You don't want it in a low spot. And I always say, if you're bagging, there's different theories on this, but I like to see when you bag that your open end of the bag is uphill. So while you're filling it, if it rains and you get water in it, it won't run to the end of the bag. So it's kind of important that you bag downhill, not on a steep grade. You want a kind of a gradual grade. So, yeah.
Yeah, and getting back to the deer, are they similar to like how you would fence for bear problems?
Yeah.
Just one wire?
Yep, one wire and a hot fencer,
Cool. Well, thank you very much.
Well, it's nice talking to you.